we can do that. Just use the standard screen extension. For example, and I know this is probably hard for the people in the back to see, and that's why I think the screen share will help out a lot. But I'll try to read some of this to you here. So we have a bean called Sports Application. Sorry, I'm on the wrong one here. Just look at this. I have a bean called Sports Form View, and I'm extending the form view which is provided by kd2. We'll go over these properties in a second. Here I'm doing the same thing for what's called the lookup view, and the inquiry view, and so on to the maintenance view. So we can extend this, create our own views, which we obviously are calling sports here, and then all our pages that we're going to build are extended on these.
Great. Now, if we want to associate a custom theme or some custom JavaScript with a view, how are we going to do that?
Right. So one of the things that you probably want to do when you're extending and creating your defaults is work with look and feel. kd2 comes with 2 out-of-the-box supported look and feels, and again, this is a result of the merging of the college student and administrative systems. We refer to those as student look and feel and admin look and feel. So we're actually going to use both those look and feels in our session today with a custom theme on each one. So to do this, there's a property on the view called additional CSS files. So what we've done here is the first thing we've done for this is we said we want to use the kd2 look and feel on this, and then we want to include these other CSS files that we developed, which will add additional CSS content we need for our particular screens, and it's also going to theme the kd2 source. So we can do that in the same way for the college student look and feel, as you'll see in our general form view. For strip, we can do the same thing. There's just another property here called additional strip files, and we have sports.js and spinner.js, which we're going to show a little bit later. And these are strip files that will get included on all our views. Of course, any of these could be done at the individual view level as well, but these are ones we want to include across the whole application.
Okay, great. Now, oftentimes in an application you want a header, a standard header to appear on every single page of the application. Does kd2 give us a way to define that?
Right. So, just another example of really what we've been showing. There's another property here on the view. It's called application header. And what we've done is we've pointed this, what we call a template, and this is from our use of Apache tiles. We've pointed it to a JSP file. And of course, this JSP file will include HTML content for our header. It's going to include sports application model that you'll see, and some other styling things.
Okay, cool. So, David gave us step 1, which was the basic setup. Jerry just gave us step 2 about views. So now it's time, if you're following your handout, to take a look at step 3, which is all about the data dictionary. So here you go. You've got the data dictionary for team up on the screen. It looks pretty familiar. So what's new about it?
Well, the business object data dictionary hasn't changed a lot from what we've seen in the KNS. Mostly what you're going to see is a lot of additions and a lot of enhancements. There are some property name changes, such as the one you see here. It's a little hard to see, but on line 9, we changed business object class to data object.
Yeah, so what's the deal with that? What's a data object class?
We wanted to change the name to data object class to point out that it's a lot easier in kd2 and KNS to implement your own service to override the internal business object service, to override the default JV mapping that's required. So basically, if you have a service for one of your objects and you'd rather use that, we wanted it to know, we wanted to display that you can use a VO data dictionary file and the views and use any service that you like in the backend.
Okay, great. Now, controls are the same as they ever were, but they got some added properties too. So, for example, I understand text control has an added watermark message. What's that?
Yeah, the watermark message is pretty standard. A lot of people have heard about it. Basically, it allows you to assist your users in filling in the data. So you can put either example data, such as, unlike, let's say, the coach field, you know, watermark text to say Bob Knight. Or it's more useful for things like dates. If you only allow a certain date format, the watermark text really helps you identify to the user what should be filled in there. And then as soon as the user clicks into the field, the watermark text will disappear.
Okay. Now, what controls are available for us developers in an attribute definition? Is it just the standard HTML controls?
The standard HTML controls are there, the same ones that you had in KNS are there. Again, enhanced, you've added some properties to them. There's a lot more flexibility for custom controls and extended controls. We'll get into that a little later. There are some new delivered controls. One example is the checkbox group control here.
Yeah, so I see that in the sample code earlier. What is a checkbox group control?
Checkbox group control is basically a single field with multiple checkboxes taken from your options finder, and it allows you to save a list to a single property on a business object. It worked perfectly for this instance because what we're trying to do is identify the different positions that players can play. Center, forward, guard. A lot of players can play both the guard and forward positions. And rather than having to create a whole new business object, create a new list, a new OJB mapping, we can use the checkbox groups control to put that in this.
That sounds really simple. So now, I've seen constraint messages in the sample code too. What's a constraint message and how do those work?
Constraint messages is really similar to a watermark text. It allows you to put text around your field to identify to the user how they should fill it out. An example would be something like enter no more than 25 characters. So rather than them running into the error and knowing that only from the error, or having to click help link, it's right there next to the field display. We also have instruction text, which is a little more useful for things like here we have one for our checkbox group controls that's just check all that apply. And that way they don't have to, and then they're displayed in different ways and customizable.
Okay, great. Now, I also see down below there the use of a constraint. So, what are constraints and what are validation patterns?
Well, the validation pattern is a concept from KNS that we've ported over into kd2. We're calling them constraints now. So you have things like the valid character constraint for an integer pattern or alphanumeric pattern, same ones that you're used to. But they've been enhanced a little bit and extended a little bit. And we also have a lot of brand new constraints that you can code in the dictionary. Things like prerequisite constraints and must-occurs constraints. And then the dictionary allows for combining these much more easily. So now in the dictionary, you can have things that are sort of like, if you have field A, B, and C, you can have dictionary constraints that you construct that say, if field A is filled in, require field B, or if the user fills in field C, make sure that field B is filled in first.
I can definitely imagine list situations where that would have been really useful functionality. Well, cool. Thank you so much, David. And now we're going to move on to step 4, which is to look at how inquiries and lookups changed in KRAD. So, Jerry, we still have lookups and inquiries, right? But what's different about them?
Right, so that's a really good question. Lookups and inquiries and maintenance were really the meat of KNS. And really helpful, you put things together quick, standard across everything, but they had some limitations. At any time you need to do something kind of outside of that, then you basically have to either dig into the framework or build something from scratch. So one of the goals behind KRAD was to build more flexibility into those views. If you were looking at one, which I have a sample here for the player object, a lookup view, it might seem like it's pretty much business as usual. We have our data object class, that Dave talked about. This is why we look up to the code units, and then we define our list of fields that we want to search by and our list of fields that we want to return. So,